So the federal government is floating the idea of a 50-year mortgage. Let's talk about that a little bit on my way to the office today. On the surface, I'm thinking I could see some beneficial uses for this if it's used carefully. Unfortunately, I see a lot more negative to it. And we'll get into that here in just a second. The first positive that I see is, yes, it will lower those payments for people that are strapped for cash right now and having a hard time getting into the housing market to begin with. If it's used carefully, I could see a use case where a first-time buyer or someone strapped for cash, but they know that they are upwardly mobile, say someone that just graduated, they're starting a new job, a new career, where in a short amount of time, a relatively short amount of time, they'll be making significantly more money. In those cases, I could see someone using the 50-year mortgage to get their foot in the door in the housing industry. Then as their income picks up, they refinance into a shorter term mortgage. The reason why I would want them out of that 50-year mortgage is the same reason that I see a lot more negatives to the plan. One of the first negatives is that already on a 30-year mortgage, such a small part of those initial payments are going towards principal that those homeowners are not really building any equity in the earliest years of their homeownership journey. The mortgages are so front-loaded to go towards interest that a 50-year mortgage, while it will lower the payments some, it won't be super significant, but it will add literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest onto that loan. And guess who benefits from that? It's not the homeowner. The homeowner is slowing down the rate at which they gain equity, but the banks are making money hand over fist in this idea. Another issue I have with this is, let's relate it back to car loans. I remember when I was growing up, a 36-month car loan was about the best you could get. If you couldn't fit your payments into 36 months, they weren't interested in financing you. Well, that was back in the 80s. Then they came out with this idea of extending those out to 60-month car loans. So 5 years, just adding 2 years on there. Brought the payments down, but guess what happened? Cars did not get any cheaper. The market was now flooded with buyers that couldn't afford cars to begin with, and now they can afford them. That increases demand, and whenever increased demand comes up at an existing supply, what happens to prices? Basic economics tells you supply stays the same, demand goes up, prices go up. So then we're back in the same problem we had to begin with affordability. Yeah, we've got 50-year mortgages, but now the houses are so expensive again that even with a 50-year mortgage, beginning homeowners can't afford the payments. So while I do see some useful limited cases for the 50-year mortgage, overall I think the risks outweigh the benefits on this, and I'm going to have to come down as a no in regards to supporting that idea. There's a couple other things that have come up that I'd like to talk about, but including like the idea of the portable mortgage. That's another one that I'll talk about, but we'll cover that in another video. Thanks for watching.